there, I'm Amy.Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. Throughout the month of December, I'm doing something a little different. I am spending time over on Instagram going live with 8 honorable mentions as an addendum to my book, Your Worthy Body. So if you have been with me for a while, you know that I just released a book called Your Worthy Body, Find Freedom and Health by Breaking All the Rules in November. And in it, it has 22 rules to break. These are rules we've possibly and probably heard about our health that oftentimes don't necessarily motivate us or inspire us in the way that they are intended to. And in fact, they can create shame surrounding our health. And so I am trying to break this mindset, change our mindset about our body, our food, our movement, how they all work together. I'm offering these addendums live on Instagram, but then I wanted to take them and give them to you because I know some of my community, and this may include you, only connect here through your ears, through podcasts. And I know that because that's how I am with a lot of the people I like to connect with. I don't necessarily go back and forth on Instagram or Facebook or certainly not Twitter. I'm hardly ever over there, but I love connecting on the podcast. So I am doing what I call being kind to my future self. And I wanted to continue showing up in December. And I'm also wanting to ease up a little bit in my own responsibilities and my output. So for the month of December, I am taking these Instagram lives and replaying them here on the podcast. Of course, if you have not gotten your copy of Your Worthy Body, then I have a link in the show notes below. You can certainly go get that. And let me tell you, get one for your sisters, get one for your Bible study friends, get one for your book club friends, get one for the girls you go out to dinner with, because this is who it is for. It is for the sisterhood of women who are ready to change their mindset. Okay, let's jump in. Hello, everybody. I am back with day 2 of our my 8 days of honorable mentions of chapter titles for the book that I wrote called Your Worthy Body. Each chapter in this book is a rule to break. And I have realized that I probably need to make sure that I am portraying these chapter titles better, because I had an event last night. It was a fantastic event at an organization called Forward, which is a wonderful professional women's Christian organization to help support women, mentor women. Highly recommended if you're if you are in the workplace and you're looking for other women who are just seeking to follow Jesus and have a community. But they had this really great market event last night. So I took my book, Your Worthy Body, and I had a few other things. And one of the things that I had on the table were some of these, some of the chapter titles, and then which are rules to break. And then it kind of gave the opposite of that. So it was like, walking isn't a real workout. I had that on there. And then I would actually use the simple take from the book and have that at the bottom. So each chapter ends with a simple take. So something that I want you to remember. I'm going to show you this here up on, this is the one of walking isn't a real workout. So the simple take for that one is, walking is most certainly a real workout. It can strengthen your core, heart, and mood and give you lower impact options for your changing body. But what I realized is I highlighted because I highlighted the chapter title, women were coming up and they thought that I meant that walking wasn't a real workout. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to really make sure that I am portraying this better, because this is all a learning process to me. So over on Instagram, you can see that I have put 3 of those like Ghostbuster no signs in front of this, because I don't want you to think that today's subject is something that I am promoting. And today's title is, I'll gain weight if I don't exercise, which is something that I think a lot of us have said, and me included. If you have read the introduction or heard the introduction on my podcast to Your Worthy Body, you know that all of this comes from my own journey and my own story. And I think we fall in, particularly those of us who have grown up moving and grown up exercising and used exercise as a tool for weight management, we can tend to think that, okay, well, I will gain the weight if I don't exercise. And if I miss a day, I'm going to gain weight. And I'm here to tell you that that's actually not true. And in fact, sometimes exercise can maybe work against your energy management goals. So I want to start off with a story, and then I want to get into a couple different things that are a little more scientific and solidifying before I wrap up. But I used to run a lot of half marathons. I don't as much anymore because my body and I have an agreement, and that agreement is I walk for endurance and sprint for fun. And which I know fun is relative, right? Like not most people don't love sprinting, but I do. And I love the feeling of it. And so my body allows me to do that if I partner that with walking for endurance in addition to the other things that I do. Well, what would happen is in half marathon training and marathon training, every week you would typically increase your mileage a little more because you want to train for this event of 13.1 miles. I know here in the Houston area, I have a lot of runner friends who are getting ready for the Houston Marathon that's in in January. And so you're slowly increasing your miles every week. Great plan, great program. My problem is I had a really hard time managing my hunger after that and managing my eating because I might go run 9, 10, 11, 12 miles or however long it was. I've never run more than, I did run more than 13 once, but that was not all at the same time. Anyway, I would run this and then I would come home, and because I had exercised so much, I was completely depleted. And I was starving. The ghrelin in my body, which is your hunger hormone, had kicked in. And I thought, well, I ran 12 miles. I can eat whatever I want. And I did. And it was more than what I needed. And a lot of times I'd be like, well, I'm kind of full, but I'm just going to keep eating because it tastes good and because I ran 12 miles today. And that actually sometimes worked against me. And I have found that when I tend to work extra hard and go for longer distances or exercise more, that oftentimes will work against me either in my head by getting that, what they call the halo effect of like, well, I've done so great. I can eat more. Or, my body was trying to come back to more of a natural state and not be too hungry or whatever, like just trying to get to where my body was nourished and fueled in the way that it needed to be. The reality is, and the science of it is, it really just comes down to energy management in terms of weight management. Our body has stored energy in the way of adipose tissue, that's also known as body fat. We can use that stored energy. Sometimes we do. We also ingest energy, and that's in the form of calories. It doesn't matter what it is that you're eating, that is all energy for your body. Now, some of it has more, some of it will make you feel better in the long run than others, but we're not going to talk about that now. We're here to talk about debunking the myth of I'll gain weight if I don't exercise. So paying attention to your body's signals is one important part about that energy management. Now, the other thing, I want to go through the technicalities of this. So 1 pound of adipose tissue is equivalent to about 3,500 calories. Okay. Now, we all have different energy needs on a daily basis, but more than likely, you probably are not consuming an extra 3,500 calories per day. I know I tend to eat anywhere between 1,800 and 2,000 calories a day, just depending on what I'm doing, how I'm feeling. I have, what did they call it in the Hunger Games? Holidays. Katniss had holidays. I did too. I get those too sometimes. But if you are working out, you're probably, let's just say you were exercise for 45 minutes. You're probably burning, 300 to 400 calories, maybe a little bit more. And I'm not huge into calorie counting, but I want to use this example to, because I think that sometimes doing the math really helps. So burning, just say 350 calories, let's just call it that, if you're working out. 3,500 calories that it takes to gain 1 pound of adipose. 350 burning, 3,500. You're not going to gain weight if you miss a workout. All right. And I understand that sometimes we need it for our head. I totally get that. Like I am a total, like I need to get out. I need to clear my head. I need to think, whatever. But from a purely physiological perspective, missing that 350 energy burn is not going to equate to 3,500 calories more of energy storage. That's when it's important to start taking, to really listening to your body and not letting, I wish I had I don't have my phone on me because I'm talking to my phone, but not letting the app on your phone, not letting whatever it is that you're counting or programming or whatever take control of that. It's important to listen to your body and determine if you need rest. I'm a huge proponent of rest. If you need to take it down a notch for the day and you're exercising, also very important to do at least once a week, one of those lower intensity workouts. Maybe you just don't get it in and you're busy, and that's okay. It might be, if you're not exercising, that you're not as hungry. And so respond to that. Don't eat just because you're supposed to eat, or overeat or undereat. Listen to your body. Your God gave you so many wonderful communication tools in your body, and pay attention to that and manage your energy from a holistic perspective, from your head to your stomach and how everything else is feeling, and not be so concerned about, well, if I don't exercise, then I'm going to gain weight. Because again, 350 calories, energy burn, 3,500 calories, 1 pound of adipose storage. It just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. And if you think about it too, there is a sports dietitian by the name of Nancy Clark, has wonderful information out there. I read, she has the Bible on sports nutrition, a book, and I read it several years ago. And she gave the example that if someone lands in the hospital for whatever reason, and they are on a liquid IV diet, they're not exercising. And even if they're not on a liquid IV diet, if they're just in the hospital, maybe for whatever reason, and they're not working out, they're probably not gaining weight. They're probably not because their energy management has been adjusted and they're getting the fuel that they need, but they're probably not having too much. They're not over fueling their body for what they need and what they feel like, and they're not gaining weight. So, and I know that might be a little bit of an extreme example, but I think it's a really great one to remember, that our circumstances will change and we have a lot of different things happen to us. And just because you miss a workout, because we are coming up on a season where you may miss it, and that's okay, I would encourage you to move in other ways, increase your NEAT, that non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just a formal way of saying movement that's not formal exercise. You can increase that. You can stay active, but you're not going to gain weight if you miss a workout. Please, please, please understand that. There's a lot of math that goes into that. And like we talked about, 350, 3,500. So just keep that in mind and drop the shame and drop the self-loathing or the fear or whatever emotion you may be having when you do miss a workout or an exercise or whatever you want to call it, a movement. That's what I call it in my book. And, it's okay. It's okay. Like it's fine. It's fine. We're all going to be fine. So So that is my message for today. And if you have not gotten your copy of Your Worthy Body, of course, you can get it in the show notes if you're listening to this on the podcast, because I am replaying this during the month of December. I'm replaying all of these on the podcast, and so it'll be in the show notes. And of course, if you're watching on Instagram, just go to my bio link and it's right up there. But I would love to get a copy of this in there. It is not a diet book. It is not a weight loss book. So if you're looking for that, keep looking, because that's not what I'm offering you here. I'm offering you an opportunity to change your mindset, to think differently about your movement, about the food that you're eating, about your body, how it all works together, so you can do what you are called to do, not so everything will look a particular way. So with that, I will sign off the way I do on all of my podcasts, which is that's all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.